Bakunin was against Marx. Who's Bakunin? What? You don't know Bakunin? He was an anarchist. No, he was the anarchist. Well, long live vacations. More vacation? For me, not going to school was synonymous with solitude, especially now that Lucia was spending all her time with her boyfriend, Klaus. Do you have a problem with vacation? No, but you see, at home, we had 2 weeks of rest for the new year, and after that, we had to wait until summer. You'll get used to it. Thanks to the left, there are holidays in Europe. We are not forced to work all the time. And your point? If at the beginning of the century the anarchists had triumphed, we wouldn't work at all. Man isn't made to work. Come on, relax, take advantage, cultivate yourself. You don't even know Bakunin. Asshole. And you, are you going skiing? Yeah, as usual. This Creighton Momo wasn't altogether wrong. I needed to fit in, and for that I needed to educate myself. So I created a reason. Where are you going on vacation? Nowhere. I'm going to read. I love reading. In fact, it was a useful answer to the perennial question, where are you going? All the while giving me a role. So they went off skiing, and I set myself to reading. I started with Bakunin. I learned that he was Russian, that he had been excluded from the First International, and that he rejected all authority, especially that of the state. Aside from that, I didn't understand much of his philosophy, as surely Momo didn't either. Then I studied the history of the Commune. I concluded that the French, right of this epoch, were worthy of my country's fundamentalists. Then I turned my attention to Sartre, my comrade's favorite author. The notion of consciousness comes from man's lived experience. I found him a little annoying. First International Conference of Communist Cooperators. When I'd had enough of reading, I went to the supermarket. It was so cold that I had the bright idea of wearing my ski suit brought from Tehran to go out. Decked out like this in Vienna, I felt like I was on the slopes of Innsbruck, close to my friends. I was so bored that to buy 4 different products, I would go to the supermarket at least 4 times. If I'd had anything fun to do, I don't think I would ever have read as much as I did. To educate myself, I had to understand everything, starting with myself, me, Margie, the woman. So I threw myself into reading my mother's favorite book, The Mandarins, by Simone de Beauvoir. No, Beauvoir. She had read me some excerpts, but I was a little young. I read The Second Sex. Simone explained that if women peed standing up, their perception of life would change. Seated, it was much simpler, and as an Iranian woman, before learning to urinate like a man, I needed to learn to become a liberated and emancipated woman. And then came the day, the famous day in the month of February, when I was preparing my eternal spaghetti. I was very hungry, so hungry that 1 plate wouldn't have been enough. I went downstairs with my pot to watch TV in the refectory. I loved that at my parents' house it was strictly forbidden. Inspector Derrick was on. The nuns liked it a lot. when suddenly the Mother Superior blocked my line of vision. A little restraint, Mademoiselle. But here, everyone eats while watching TV, but not in a pot. What kind of manners are these? It's true what they say about Iranians. They have no education. It's true what they say about you too. You were all prostitutes before becoming nuns. The Mother Superior no longer wanted to see me, so I was called before her assistant. Approach. It's unacceptable what you said to Mother Bridget. And what she said to me, you find that acceptable? You're expelled. I'm going to call your mother's friend to come get you. Don't bother. I have friends who will be happy to take care of me. I was thinking of Julie. You should be ashamed of yourself. So should you. Shut up, you insolent girl. As you've paid, you can stay until the end of the month. You have nothing to say to me? Excuse me, I said thank you. In every religion, you find the same extremist. I didn't wait for the end of the month. A few days later, I called Julie. They threw me out. I don't know what to do. Hold on a minute. I'm going to ask my mother if you can come live here. She says that she is thrilled to have you. Oh, Julie, thanks. I repacked my bags. I said goodbye to Lucia, whom I never saw again. The sisters sent a letter to my parents, explaining to them that, humiliated to have been caught red-handed stealing a fruit yogurt, I had decided to leave the boarding house of my own volition. But what in the world can this mean? She hates fruit yogurt. I don't understand. Happily, my parents knew my taste. Oh, those liars. They could have at least found a better excuse. Reading wasn't enough. To fit in, I still had a long way to go. My new home was a lot more comfortable than the boarding house. I shared Julie's room. Do you want me to go work somewhere else? Stay put. I just came by to get my jacket. Would you believe I have a date with Ernst, the owner of Cafe Shelter? The owner? But how old is this owner? 26. 26? Yes, mature, the way I like them. Did you do your homework? Okay, I'm off. Julie, where are you going? Bye, Mom. And the sisters who found me insolent. If only they'd seen Julie. In my culture, parents were sacred. We at least owed them an answer. Armel, would you like a cup of tea? Yes. To behave like this towards one's own mother made me indignant. I really liked Armel. She was gentle and discreet. In fact, a little too much so. Compared to my mother, she lacked authority. Don't put too much in. When the tea is strong, it loses its flavor. I know, at home, we drink tea all day long. Of course. How silly of me. Tea, India, Persia, Russia, Somavors. Armel was very cultured, even if she didn't know Bakunin. Lacan was her thing. She was passionate about him. You know, he opened up the field of psychoanalysis with structural linguistics. He managed to isolate the registers of the symbolic imagination and reality. He is one of the first to have undertaken group therapy. A woman and a man don't think alike, don't function alike, don't write alike. Women's literature, blah blah blah. Men's literature, blah 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 blah. I listened out of politeness. And also because she was the only one who knew I ran. She understood my nostalgia for the Caspian Sea. She was also the only one to have seen Samovar. And then she was the one who had called my parents to reassure them. Julie and I discussed a lot before bed. I think your mother is very nice. She can be really unbearable when she wants to be. But she really likes you too. Thanks to you, she goes easier on me. She thinks that you're a good influence on me. What kind of good influence? Oh, you're the pure, timid, innocent virgin who does her homework. I'm not like that. I've been having sex for 5 years. I've already slept with 18 guys. Fabrice, Olivier, Laurent, Jean-Marc, another, Laurent, Sebastian. I was shocked. In my country, even when you had sex before marriage, you hid it. At first, we used condoms, but the guy feels less. Feels less what? Well, the vagina. Now I'm on the pill. That's why I have such a big butt. I had a big behind too. And I wasn't even taking contraceptives. Armelle had a good job at the United Nations. She traveled frequently. I stocked the refrigerator, studied hard. Julie, don't cut class. Okay. When I get back, I want the house to be clean and tidy. Yes, ma'am. How long will you be gone? 6 days. If you need anything, call Martin. Martin and Armelle got to know each other in Vienna. They worked together, were both divorced, and carried on a platonic relationship. It was Julie who had explained it to me. I don't think they're sleeping together. If they were, I would know. What do you know about it? You've seen how annoying she is. It's for sure. She's not fucking. I didn't yet have any experience that would have allowed me to make the connection between Armelle's character and her sex life. Have a good trip. No sooner was her mother gone than Julie organized a party for the day after with her friends from the cafe shelter. The night of the party. How do I look? Not so good. Wait, I'm going to make you up, you'll see. She did my hair and drew on a thick line of black eyeliner. That, from then on, became my usual makeup. I thought I looked very beautiful. Do you have any good music? Yes, I have all of Pink Floyd. I knew Pink Floyd. My parents listened to them whenever we went on a road trip. To me, it wasn't exactly party music. And the party was not what I imagined. In Iran, at parties, everyone would dance and eat. In Vienna, people preferred to lie around and smoke. And then I was turned off by all these public displays of affection. What do you expect? I came from a traditionalist country. Around 4 in the morning, the last guest finally left. I was so sleepy. I wanted to remove my makeup, but it wasn't coming off with water. I went to ask Julie for some makeup remover, but apparently she and Ernst were already asleep in our room, when suddenly, my God, they were in the middle of... I rushed to the living room to protect myself from I don't know what, behind my best friend, a book. It goes without saying that I didn't understand a word I read. Several minutes later, I made out in the dark the silhouette of a man, followed by one of a woman. Then a man and woman half naked. Hello, hi. I couldn't believe my eyes. I'd never seen that. Ah, ping pong balls. Ha 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 ha. I don't believe it. You're stoned. But that's so cool. She's tripping. Go on, Wolfie. Why don't you put some music on? Wolfie? So he wasn't Ernst, the owner of the cafe. Julie had just slept with her 19th guy. That night, I really understood the meaning of the sexual revolution. It was my first big step towards assimilating into Western culture. My mental transformation was followed by my physical metamorphosis. Between the ages of 15 and 16, I grew 7 inches. It was impressive. My head also changed in its own way. First, my face got longer. Then my right eye grew, followed swiftly by my chin, which doubled in length. Then it was my mouth, my right hand, my left foot. Even today, it's half a size bigger than my right foot. Of course, my nose tripled its size and was decorated by a large beauty mark, which I thought hideous at the time. Then my chin advanced majestically, only to retreat to its original position several months later. Finally, my chest developed, and my center of gravity was balanced out by the pounds on my butt. In short, I was in an ugly stage, seemingly without end. As if my natural deformity wasn't enough, I tried a few new haircuts, a little snip of the scissors on the left, and a week later a little snip of the scissors on the right. I looked like Cosette and Les Miserables, so I coated my hair with gel. I added a thick line of eyeliner, a few safety pins, which were replaced by a scarf. It softened the look. It was beginning to look like something. Have you seen how beautiful she is now? To my enormous surprise, the new look even pleased the hall monitors. It should be said that they were very young. You change your hairstyle every day. Who cuts your hair? I do. If I pay you, will you cut my hair too? That's how I became the school's official hair cutter. It helped me earn a little spending money. My relationship with the school's lackeys didn't please my friends much, so you seem to be on awfully good terms with the peons. Not really, I just cut their hair. That's not all you do for them. You kiss their asses from time to time. I do not. I think they're nice, that's all. Peons? They're peons. They have a fixed psychological profile. They are thirsty for power and are looking to control us. Yeah, like the cops. Exactly. Life is pain. Pain is everything. Everything is nothingness. Therefore, life is nothingness. When man recognizes this whole, he can no longer live like an earthworm, inventing games of leaders and followers to forget his fickleness. Whatever, existence is not absurd. There are people who believe in it and who give their lives for values like liberty. What rubbish, even that, it's a distraction from boredom. So my uncle died to distract himself? For Momo, death was the only domain where my knowledge exceeded his. On this subject, I always had the last word. Noble combat, blah blah blah. Okay, are we going to smoke a joint? Sure. It was always Theory who rolled the joints, while we kept an eye out for the monitors, so we wouldn't be caught by surprise. Here. I didn't like to smoke, but I did it out of solidarity. At the time, to me, grass and heroin were the same thing. Each time I was offered a joint, I remembered this conversation my parents had about my cousin, Cameron. Poor boy. He stuck himself so many times he's begun to look like a vegetable. This kind of thing always happens to the most fragile ones. Becoming a vegetable was out of the question. So I pretended to participate, but I never inhaled the smoke. And as soon as my friends' backs were turned, I stuck my fingers in my eyes to make them good and red. Then I imitated their laughter. I was quite believable. The harder I tried to assimilate, the more I had the feeling that I was distancing myself from my culture, betraying my parents and my origins, that I was playing a game by somebody else's rules. Each telephone call from my parents reminded me of my cowardice and my betrayal. I was at once happy to hear their voices and ashamed to talk to them. Yes, I'm doing fine. I'm getting good grades. You have some good friends? Friends? Of course, lots. That doesn't surprise me. You always had a talent for communicating with people. Eat oranges. They're full of vitamin C. Dad, I love you. Us too, we adore you. You're the child all parents dream of having. If only they knew. If they knew that their daughter was made up like a punk, that she smoked joints to make a good impression, that she had seen men in their underwear while they were being bombed every day, they wouldn't call me their dream child. I felt so guilty that whenever there was news about Iran, I changed the channel. It was too unbearable. Did you watch TV yesterday? You must be worried. No, it's okay. I talked to my parents. They're fine. I was lying. I knew nothing, and I didn't want to know more. I wanted to forget everything, to make my past disappear, but my unconscious caught up with me. I even managed to deny my nationality. During a party at school, "Hi, I'm Mark. I graduated last year. You're new. What's your name?" "Marjane, I've been here a year." "And where are you from, Marie-Jean?" "I'm French." "Oh really? You have a funny accent for a French girl." "Oh, I have to find my friends. Bye." I should say that at the time, Iran was the epitome of evil, and to be Iranian was a heavy burden to bear. It was easier to lie than to assume that burden. "Who's that guy?" "Mark, he's Anna's brother, the girl in the striped sweater. He's a jerk from Bourges. You shouldn't talk to those people." And when I got back that night, I remember that line my grandmother told me, "Always keep your dignity and be true to yourself." Oh, Grandma. Unfortunately, it all came out in the end a few days later in a cafe near school. She told my brother that she was French. And your brother believed her? What do you think? Have you heard the way she talks? Have you seen her face? But your brother was hitting on her, or what? Of course not. Ah, that's a relief. Considering how ugly she is, it would be really unfair if she got a guy like Mark. Ha ha ha, I would commit suicide if my brother was going out with a cow like that. I don't know if you've noticed, but she never talks about either her country or her parents. Well, of course, she lies when she says that she's known war. It's all to make herself seem interesting. Anyway, her parents clearly don't care about her, or they wouldn't have sent her here alone. That was too much. I saw red. You are going to shut up, or I'm going to make you. I am Iranian and proud of it. She's completely crazy. I wanted to die. Where were my parents to take me in their arms, to reassure me? But really, I had nothing to cry about. I had just redeemed myself. For the first time in a year, I felt proud. I finally understood what my grandmother meant. If I wasn't comfortable with myself, I would never be comfortable.